I was speaking to Stacie Walker. Now, she is a professional marketer and she helps you with thinking of business strategies on how to increase the people on your list and how to market to them and how to build a summit and how to sell. I mean, it was really, really good. I love these kind of conversations because this is when people are dropping all of this amazing knowledge and you got to pick it up. Okay, so you're going to love this episode. She is on a mission to help all of you guys design high converting, client and customer attraction processes. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and coaches and stuff on this online space, this is the episode for you. You're going to freaking love it. So here we go. What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. I'm so stoked you're hanging out with us, and I cannot wait to introduce you to this amazing human that I have found on this planet. Now, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. You know the drill, and you guys have been doing it because our downloads are looking great. So thank you guys so much for hanging out and being with us. I really appreciate the work that I do because I get to meet amazing people. And today is no exception. I have Stacie Walker here with me. Now, Stacy is a marketing expert, a business strategist, and the founder of Unleash Your Ambition. Now, she is on a mission to help her clients design high converting client and customer attraction processes, which I know a lot of you are like, okay, you have my attention, enabling you guys to fast track the growth of your coaching business. Okay. So I love that. And I love that she is really an expert in marketing because I think this is going to be an impactful conversation for those of you who are feeling a bit stuck in this area. Now, with Stacie's expertise, you're going to gain some valuable insights into creating effective marketing strategies that drive success and growth. So I wanted to welcome you here, Stacie, because we speak to the people who listen are awesome, but there are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, coaches, things like that. And I really wanted to have somebody, who is in that marketing space and an expert come on here and just drop some wisdom on us, Stacie. So welcome to Straight Talk. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful, Neena. Thank you so much for having me on Straight Talk podcast. And I'm looking forward to this conversation because there's so many ways that we can go about this and so many layers to dig, so many stories. So I'm ready to dive in.
Let's go. So the first question out the back, because this is going to set us up for our conversation, is who are you, Stacie? Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Who I am? Well, I am a homeschool mom of an 8-year-old. I also have a 25-year-old son. He lives in Texas.
Little gap.
Yep. Oh, just a little. I live in Denver, Colorado. We moved from Texas back in 2015. I love it here. One of my dream destinations. So that's
awesome.
I love the great outdoors. I love my sleep. I love to dance. I am a pet mom too. And I'm also the founder of Unleash Your Ambition. I've been an online entrepreneur since 2008, and that's when it was really the wild, wild west back then. And I really didn't get great at this entrepreneurial thing, this online business thing, until 2017. Even though I started in 2008, 2013, I finally hit the magical 5-figure months, but it came with a cost, big cost. I ended up burning myself out. I gained a lot of weight. I was consuming sugar, really wasn't having a great relationship with my family. I was home, but I was physically there, but I was just not present. I was working 80 hours a week. And I finally realized that I did not recognize who I was when I looked in the mirror. So I decided to go ahead and to step back from my business. So the plan was for a year, but it ended up being 2 because I ended up getting pregnant after being off for a year. And before that, I was having trouble getting pregnant. And I realized that since I was taking care of my body, that's probably why my pregnancy stuck,
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So when I came back to my business in 2016, I made a promise to myself that I would never burn myself out. I would make sure I build my business around my life, not the other way around. And I would help people who wanted something similar. So that was that was essentially the birth of Unleash Your Ambition. But I officially named it Unleash Your Ambition when the pandemic hit. I've solidified my brand. Like before, I was just going by my name, but so basically now I work less than 20 hours a week. I take a week off every month. I take the weekends off too, so I can spend time with myself, my loved ones.
Awesome.
We can do what we love, and I earn way more money than I did back in the days before I burned myself out, which is quite remarkable. And I know it has everything to do with a framework that I created. It's a marketing and sales framework that helps you build the foundation for your business. And it's very
Mm,
simple. And you get to play within the framework. So you can do the marketing and sales in a way that's aligned with your mission, vision, and personality. That way, um, my framework does not try to fit you who you are into a box, because we're very multi-dimensional
yeah.
beings,
Yeah.
there, and all of us have different visions. All of us have different strengths and different experiences. So I created a framework to where you can play within that framework and get the same end result, no matter what your personality is, what your mission is, your vision is. It works for you, and it works quite well because of its simplicity.
Yeah, it's usually that way, isn't it? You know what,
Mm-hmm.
Stacey? It's funny is I'm hearing you talking. I'm like, yep, I remember that because when I wanted to get to my six figures, I did the same thing, right? Like I worked my tail off until I have autoimmune conditions that I'm dealing with now,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like navigating and helping myself get healthy again. But it's like this drive to have this so-called plateau, this place that we're supposed to reach. You reach that five figures, you're like, oh, okay, I'm better than I was, when I was like, was younger. And then you reach six figures and maybe a little bit higher, a little bit multiple six figures, but you are like literally working yourself to the bone and not realizing until your body or your sickness says, you're done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're
Yep.
in bed, then you're at the doctor's, then you're sick, and then you're like, oh my God, what's happening? Well, what's happening is sometimes we are sold a pipe dream and we
Yeah.
are working our tail thinking that that's what the pipe dream is. When in reality, Stacy, isn't it your health? Because you got healthy, you ended up having your child,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Health, quality time with our loved ones, our values, like I think that's the most important. But yeah, I think we're essentially sold a lie. And I think that happens way before even we're adults,
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
we're not taught to really understand what we value. We're not really taught how to really take care of ourselves. We're not really taught how to build wealth.
Right.
Not unless you're around an environment that teaches you those things. But I think it's a trap of entrepreneurship, because many of my clients that have come to me are very successful, but they've overcomplicated their lives, overcomplicated their businesses. And uh, what my role is to help them see a different life, to where they can
Mm-hmm.
walk away from some things and even be more successful, which is not easy to do, especially if you're used to doing things
So true.
in a
Oh my
certain
God.
way.
Yeah.
There is a fear of like, am I going to lose all of this? And it's like, no, it's just another way of doing things. There are an infinite number of possibilities to where you can absolutely help people in your own special way, and have a life, live a life. My clients are you I mean, I have some clients that are like in their 20s, which is, but they're moms, so that's a little bit different. Like I really don't work with people that are in their 20s and they're single and they don't really have responsibilities. It's just they're just in a whole different realm than
Yeah.
I am
Hmm.
right now. Like I want to be home. I want to spend time with my family. I'm very mindful of my money, because I got to build my retirement. I
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't have a
Yeah.
job to where they're taking care of that for me. And I know that most of the people that are attracted to my message and to who I am as a person and the work that I do is that they don't want to hustle, because they've either done it and it didn't make them any happier,
Right.
or Or there's people that are like, ooh, I don't want to do all of that. And it's like, you don't have to. If you don't want to build a six-figure business, you don't have to. It's what's important to you. I think that is the most important thing, Neena, is like knowing what's best for you. Because one thing that I've learned on this journey is that there are times, there's different seasons. There's seasons where um I'm very focused on earning X amount of dollars, but then there's some seasons where I just want to sit back and live my life and spend time
Mhm.
with my
Mhm.
family. That's what I did at the beginning of this year, and now I'm spending the last part of this year like just really focused on my business. But that's the beautiful thing, is that you can have options and
Right.
you can do things that without having that fear of like, am I going to lose it all? um,
Right.
because that is a fear, especially
Oh
if
yeah.
you busted your booty, building a business and building an audience, and it can be scary. And I understand that. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a human thing. So I I'm the one that kind of shines a light on, yeah, there is something new that you can experience, and you can experience in a short amount of time, but there's some things that you're going to have to remove that just aren't serving you anymore, that aren't serving your vision and what you truly want and desire.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how you knew it was time. Like, what was the signs that you had of the burnout, right? Because I think that as, purpose-driven people, right? When people are purpose-driven
Hmm.
and they're entrepreneurs and they're perfectionists and they're all those things, they don't realize I didn't until I had autoimmune conditions, until I was
Mm.
ill, like until I was ill, right? I should
Hmm.
have I should have, because once I now that I'm healing from that space and I'm learning and I'm growing,
Hmm.
now I see, oh, ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? But tell me a little bit about your journey in that space. I would love to know.
Hmm.
And for those entrepreneurs who are listening, right? Because you're
Hmm.
talking about simplifying their lives.
Yeah.
And you also are talking about the fear of simplifying your life, right? Because we do get afraid. Let's just be real. I remember
Hmm.
many, many, many moons ago, over 25 or so years ago, I used to suffer with depression and anxiety, right? It was in a
Hmm.
bad marriage, blah, 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 whatever. So
Hmm.
when I gave it to, I believe in God, right? So when I
Hmm.
gave my faith, or when I gave my depression, everything to God, and I said, God, here, you take that. I
Hmm.
can't do this anymore, right? And I let it go. I honestly, Stacy, didn't know who I was. Like, I got scared. Like, oh
Hmm.
no, who am I without the anxiety, depression, upset? Who am I without that? And
Hmm.
I discovered I'm a much better person without it. But tell me about how you actually stepped away from your
Hmm.
business
Hmm.
for that year or two, because I want people who are listening not to step away, but to realize, let's
Hmm.
fix this before we mess this
Hmm.
all up, right? So tell us about
Oh
that.
my goodness. So this actually goes back to why I started my business in the first place. I never planned on having a business. I didn't even think it was an option. But back in 2007, I ended up getting extremely ill, to the point to where I ended up going to the hospital and found out that I had a small liver, and also that my body was septic. My liver was not getting rid of the
Wow.
toxins, which meant that I was literally dying, and I was walking around like I was a living dead girl walking around. And
Mm,
if I would have waited probably a couple more days to go to the emergency room, I probably wouldn't be here today speaking with you. So that was like my first wake up call. Now, what I had to do, like after finding out about that, I had to recover, and it took me like a year to recover, which meant that I was on bed rest at home. I had to walk away from my corporate career. I worked for the government. I worked at UT Health Science Center in San Antonio, Texas, at the well, obviously the university. So during that time, I depleted my sick leave, my paid leave, my retirement, and I had, of course, I had my oldest son, and I was also the breadwinner. So I needed to think of a way to bring in income, and I would look
yeah.
for a work at home job because I had no idea about the whole world online. Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
I never, I had no connections with anybody. So that's where my journey started, was building my business just from that situation, which meant that moving forward, I needed to make sure that I took care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, fast forward from 2007 to 2013, I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was like, who the heck are you?
Mm.
Um, my face, I didn't recognize myself. I gained at least 30, 40 pounds. I looked tired. Um, I wasn't active. I just was not myself. I was a completely different person. I did not like who I saw in the mirror. I was tired all the time. I
Mhm.
wasn't really spending time with my family, even though my whole dream was to be able to work when I wanted, whenever I wanted, but I had no boundaries. I had no cutoff time. I told you now, I work a certain amount of hours a week, and I take extended time off every month, and it has helped me earn more money, just from doing that, which is crazy because it seems counterintuitive. but
Right.
but but when I was working 80 hours, it was like I felt like a robot,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it was just so depleting. And that's when I realized, like, when I looked in the mirror that day and I was like, who are you? Like, who the heck are you? Like, I never went out anymore. I didn't exercise anymore. Me and
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
husband weren't intimate anymore. It was a lot of signs were there, and I was ignoring them because I was so focused on I've I'm doing. Here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with working hard, but I think you should have some boundaries with yourself,
Right.
for sure. Otherwise, you end up getting burned out. That's what so many people have done over the years. I see it time and time again. I can tell when somebody's about to burn out. I'm like, yeah, it seems like it's sustainable right now, but here you go. But and it's because, like, you spot it, you got it, right? Like, I know the signs, so that's where it started for me, just looking in the mirror and
Mhm.
realizing, you
Mhm.
know what, this isn't worth it. And plus, I was
Mhm.
starting to feel the effects of my liver, like, doing some weird
Yeah.
things. I did not want
Mhm.
to go back to the hospital. So I
Right.
automatically knew what I needed to do, which was to take a sabbatical. And I was willing
Yeah.
to do that. It was the hardest thing to do, Nina,
I
because of
bet.
all of the hard work that I had done and built. And of course, I love what I do. I love what I do. I love helping people. I love connecting with people. But I knew that, like, what's good having all of this money if I'm not even alive to even enjoy it?
Right.
That's
Right.
what came across my head. I was like,
Mhm.
is this worth dying over? No.
Right.
So that's when I
Right.
realized I need to figure out what's important to me. I trust that I can create as much income as I want. The sky's the limit, but what's going to help me build wealth? What's going to help me, make sure that my family and I live decent lives? I'm not trying to get, like, I don't want to be a billionaire.
Right.
I
Right.
got clear on, like, okay, what's going to make me happy?
Mhm.
Forget what everybody
Mhm.
says and what everybody's perception of success is. What does that mean for you?
Right, right. It's so true. That is
Yeah.
such a true statement, right? Because I
Mhm.
mean, you know what it is, Stacy, too? It's like and I say this often, but it's because I mean it. Like we just really stopped living our lives and started watching others live their lives. And then,
Mhm.
we've paused the things we've wanted, the things we've desired, the things we are excited about because we're watching somebody else live theirs and wishing it was theirs. I mean, stop. The truth is that I'm the same. Like I could care less about being a billionaire. I just want to be able to pay my bills without the stress, take care of my family and go on vacations and do that kind of stuff. I don't
Mhm.
need to be a billionaire to do that, right? And
No.
so and I think that, we've been sold like so many pipe dreams that we just feel like that's what we have to do to be significant or to have worth or to be somebody. And that's not at all true. And so I love that you said that. And I love that, for those of you who are listening, you might not even realize that you're spinning a little bit. And I
Mhm.
want you to pause and listen to your body because your body tells you. Your body tells you. Can you sleep? Are you thinking about things you're not even supposed to be thinking about at 3 o'clock in the morning? You know what I'm saying? Are you tossing and turning? Are you eating a lot of sugar? Because that's what happened to
Mhm.
me, right? So I've gained
Mhm.
some weight. Like all of these things are real, for real, for real. And when I know my mind does not stop, like I am constant, 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 I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, I'm just gonna sit, stand, and I'm gonna either cry or I'm gonna get overwhelmed. Is because I'm
Mhm.
overthinking. So,
Mhm.
Stacy,
Yeah.
You shifted now. So then you waited, you got out of it, you got out for 2 years. How did you come back in the game, and what is it that you're doing?
So how I came back into the game, well, I basically burned my previous business to the ground, like the email list that I had built, the foundation that I had built for my business prior to taking the 2 year break. I just wasn't aligned with it anymore. So I knew that I wanted to connect with a new audience. I had a new message. I had a new focus, new goals. So I essentially just let go of everything I had built, that was so hard for me to let go of
Yeah,
back
I'm
in
sure.
2013. But when I came back, it was the easiest decision ever. I was like, I already have the skills to grow an audience, to expand my network, to sell, to market, to create an offer. Like, I already have those skill sets. So
Right.
me being able to start from scratch, pretty darn easy, especially the second time around, because I'm weeding out all of those mistakes that I made over the years. So this is when I decided to create a very simple methodology. Of course, it started with me, and then I handed it off to my clients to see if it would work for them. But I started with me, and how it started was that there are four things that every successful business has in place that's profitable and sustainable. And it's basically called the Attract, Engage, and Profit framework. So there's awareness, lead generation, positioning, and sales. Right. So
Mhm.
how, if you have to make sure your business has four of those, and actually it's five. The fifth one's mindset. But if we're
Right.
just talking about marketing
Yes.
and sales, it's
Mhm.
those four. So I knew that I needed to get the attention of the people that would be aligned with my message. And the best way that I know how to do that is through strategic partnerships. I created a summit. It was like a 42-person summit, Ambitious Mom
Ooh.
Summit. And it was a
Oh, I
research
love
project
that.
for me.
Ambitious Mom Summit. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was a research project for me because since I was coming back to business with a newborn, I had no idea how to run a business and have a baby at the same time, a new baby at the same time, because I basically started motherhood of a little one all over again because my oldest already an adult
Right.
by then. So I decided to connect with very successful, in my mind, very successful, interesting entrepreneurs who were moms and who were running their businesses quite well. And I wanted to I interviewed each of those 42 women. And not only did I get a different perspective of how I could run my business, but I knew that having this summit would help so many other women out there who are
Yeah.
experiencing something similar to me. So that's how I got back into the online space. And that's what helped me connect with great people, helped me build an email list, helped me and sell my first offer after coming back. And I ended up making $30,000 in 90 days. So,
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really fantastic.
right, which is a
So,
lot faster than what I did
right. So are
those
you how
5 years.
are you taking that concept of building a summit and all that and helping somebody build it, or I just want to understand what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I help them build the foundation. The summit is a piece of it because that can go into lead generation, positioning, and sales.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
that's a great way to build an audience, whether you're new or maybe you just want to tap into new places and meet new people. That is
Mhm.
definitely something that I help my clients with. Um, and this comes before paid advertising. This comes before having multiple offers, because the goal first is to have a foundation for your business first.
Right.
You have
Mhm.
to have a process and system in place that's going to get the attention of your best fit clients. That's going to help you build an ecosystem of your best fit clients and customers through by having an email list, because we don't own social platforms. We
Right,
can
of
get kicked
course.
off at any
100.
time.
I say this all the time. That's so freaking true.
Yes, it
Guys,
yes.
you don't own social media. You don't own it.
Mhm.
Like I tell people this all the time. Summits, by the way, Stacy, are brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Are challenges. But I
Mhm.
couldn't agree with you more. Some people are like, oh yeah, I got 50,000 followers
And it doesn't mean
and
anything.
It means nothing.
Nothing. Oh my
It
goodness.
means nothing.
Let me tell you this, Neena, and for those of you who are watching, I had a client come to me. She had 30, no, it was 300,000 people following her on Facebook. She spent her blood, sweat, and tears building up this Facebook page. And guess what happened? She was not building a list. She was just going on the page. She was selling on the page. She was doing everything on her page because she had a lot of people there. Well, she woke up one day and that
Crash.
page was deactivated,
Gone.
gone.
That happened to me.
And
That
she didn't
happened
have
to
any,
me.
yep, she didn't have an
Exactly.
email list. So she lost her income stream overnight, literally overnight. So
that
always
sucks so bad.
build your email list. I know it seems like a pain in the butt because I have so many people come to me and they're like, oh, I don't, and I'm like, if you want to sustain your business for the long term, you got to build an email list. All the big corporations do it.
Yeah.
Until they stop doing it,
Yeah.
we got to do it.
What do you
There's
think
a
all the
reason.
pop-ups are, right? Every
Right.
time you go
Yeah.
onto any site, the pop-up
Mhm.
comes up. It's because they're collecting your emails because they know it's value.
Yeah.
There's, people are like, oh, emails don't work. What?
Yeah, they
Get out of
do.
here, emails don't work. Yes, they do. They're one of the
Mhm.
strongest things you can get. Emails and texts are
Yeah.
amazing. Like,
Mhm.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I
you're
love that
right.
you said that. I
Yeah.
love that you said that. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
So yeah, she had to end up building an email list from scratch, and I helped her build an email list all over again. That's what you need in place for a profitable and sustainable business. And then the next one's positioning. That's you showcasing your expertise. That's you forming strategic partnerships. That's you being featured on podcasts, YouTube shows, or even having your own podcast. That's positioning yourself. And then sales, like you built this ecosystem. So where are you leading people? Like what is it that you want to lead them to? So I think that is the simplest. I know it sounds simple, like, oh, that's all I need to do. Yes, that's all you need to do in order to have a
Yeah, but you
sustainable
need to know how to
business.
do it, though. You do need to know how to do it.
Exactly. And you want to make sure the things that you're deciding on in each of those components of the framework is aligned with your mission, vision, or personality.
That's right. That's
So
right.
whenever I work with anyone, we get very clear on what they want, why they want it, what is their vision for their life. 10
I
years
love
down
it.
the line, 5 years down the line, 3 years down the line. Same thing with their business, because what everybody wants is different. So I don't want anyone thinking that comes to me that you got to do it this way and it's the only way. No, we're going to do it. We're going to figure out to do it in a way that's going to work best for you and your vision, because most likely you are going to follow through. Most likely
Yeah.
you're going to do it, because I know I've taken so many programs and I thought I needed to do those things in order to make it work in my business. And I wasted so much money. I never went within and really thought about, like, what is it that I want? What does
Yeah.
success look like to me? What does my business look like for me? My business, I don't want a 20 person team. I have 2 people on my team and they don't even work with me every day. It's only like when I do summits, when I'm doing like some things where I need some extra hands to help me. Like
Right.
my vision has always been a low volume, high value business model. So that's me working with less people, but still being able to continue to earn more income.
Right.
So what that could look like is I could work with 5 clients a year and hit my 6-figure baseline. And anything after that is icing on the cake.
Right.
That's where I thrive. I don't want a lot of volume. I want to, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with it. Everybody's different, but I don't want a lot of volume. I'd rather
Yeah,
call
I
on the
don't
right
either.
people. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, some people love
Mhm.
that, and I'm like, okay, that's you,
I
but for
yeah,
me,
I don't like you probably get this too, but I get a lot of people like, hey Nina, we can get you 50 clients on your next phone on your next calls. I'm like, I don't want no damn 50 clients on this
no,
phone. Like my
no.
groups, the women in my groups are very small, but they, because I do one cohort at a time and I
Mhm.
want it super small. Like I want it 10 or less, 10 or less. That's all I want to
Mhm.
work with, because it takes a lot of energy and a
Yeah.
lot of time and a lot of your wisdom and a lot of everything for you to pour into that client for them to get
Mhm.
results. And if you're doing
Yes.
100 people on a call at a time, I'm sorry, people are getting neglected. They're not
Yep.
getting spoken to. They're not
Yep.
getting called on.
Yep.
It's not fair. It's just not fair. And if you can run that, hey, good for you. You got probably about a team, about 100 other people that are helping you. Perfect. Not my
Right.
thing. Not
Yeah,
my thing. I'm
exactly.
the
Like,
same way, Stacy. The same
yes, and
way.
I love that because I mean both ways work, but for
Yeah,
those of
they
you
both
that
do.
are listening, like you got to figure out what's going to work best for you before you even
Yeah.
before you even get into that. Because I know some
Yep.
people, no, a lot of people, like they scale their businesses so fast, they end up building businesses that they don't even love, right?
Right.
They're doing things they don't even love, but they're doing it because of the money, that
Yep.
carrot. And that can be a very
Mhm.
dangerous thing for a lot of people.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
your money should not be the master over you, but that's what can end up happening to so many people. Like it almost got me. So it's not like I'm
Yeah.
judging or anything.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it did get me because I burned myself out. So not almost, it did
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you, Neena, about like working with less people. I think is a totally different experience than having a lot of people in your container. And what I mean by a lot is like over 10. I think
Right.
my cap is about 15 because I know
Mhm.
maybe like 4 of those are just gonna take off. Like they don't even need much interaction with me. But working with less people, it allows you to really get to know the people, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of my clients, they're actually friends of mine today, you
Yeah.
know?
Same.
Like I
Same.
love
Yeah.
that. And I
Mhm.
remember there was a time in the industry where they were saying like your clients aren't your friends. And I was like, BS. Like
Yeah.
if somebody's gonna come to me, trust me with their dreams, their vision. I mean, which isn't easy for a lot of people because a lot of people feel that they're being ridiculous, you know, and it's like, no, like I'm gonna support you and walk through the fire with you every step of the way. You know, I'm
Right.
gonna do my
Right.
part. All you have to do your part and just trust the process. If you have somebody coming to you that's trusting you to help them on their journey, like that says a lot because it's
It
not
sure does.
easy to do for a lot of people. And for most people, it isn't. I mean, it took me almost 5 years to finally invest in a very good mentor. And I know for me, it had to do with like, I didn't want to be judged. I didn't, it was just all these
Right.
common dumb mindset hurdles that just don't make any sense. Like it's ridiculous when I say it out loud, but when you're going through it, it just feels so real.
Yeah. So
Um,
true. So
yeah.
true.
So
So you're helping them then get clear on what it is that they're doing and why they want to do this thing, and then you're helping them kind of build out. You said you're gonna
build
you
out their
one component.
foundation.
What? Yeah,
Hmm.
one of yes, got it. And then one of their
Hmm.
components is also building up their email list, which one of the things you introduce them to is maybe hosting a summit so they can get emails and things
Hmm.
like that. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
And so
So
then.
it can
Mhm.
start, okay, their vision, what they want, you know, and then start working through the framework. The first one's awareness. So we have to get clear on their messaging. Before we can
Right.
get clear on their messaging, of course, we need to reverse engineer and figure out what it is that they're selling.
Right.
Because if you don't know what you're selling, your messaging is not going to be targeted. So we got
Exactly.
to kind of reverse engineer everything first. Like it's the vision, the offer, awareness, which is the content to grab the attention of the best fit clients or customers, lead generation that can be done through summits, and how you and I shouldn't even just say just summits. Just
Right. Of
leveraging
course.
strategic partnerships because I have a client. She has a YouTube series, and that's how she's doing strategic partnerships. I have somebody that's doing a retreat, and she's bringing some strategic partners in. But the people that sign up for the retreat need to get on the email list, of course.
Right. Right.
So the end goal is to get on an email list, whatever your strategic partnership, whatever your collaboration looks like, make sure that you are getting people on your email list. And then the third part is, well, not the third part, but the next part is being able to position yourself, showcase your expertise. Like people need to know that you know what the heck you're
Right.
talking about, right?
Right. Right.
And a great way to do that is, you know, being featured on podcasts, on YouTube shows, on and summits, in-person events. You know, you want to make sure that you're getting your message out there because that not only positions yourself positions you as somebody who knows what they're talking about, but also allows you to tap into new audiences where your best fit client or
Yeah.
customer is
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
That's where you should be hanging out at, or getting featured. Is that's very important. You have to make sure you're tapping into audiences where your best fit client or customer is most likely hanging out. And then the
Yeah.
last one, sales. So all of these, you're building a foundation, you're building process systems and processes for each of these components.
Love
Like
it.
I
I love
said,
it.
like saying like, oh, there's only 4 things that you got to focus on. It sounds easy, but I mean, it's the
Of
best
course
way
it
to,
does.
yeah, but it's not. There's some work
No.
that you got to put into it. But what's beautiful about it, it's like once you have the foundation down, and it doesn't even have to be quote unquote perfect, but you're going to have everything down. And it usually takes my clients about 3 to 4 months to get it down. After that, it's just about refining, like going through the whole
Yeah.
process over and over
Yeah.
again,
Over
refining
and
it.
over again.
And
Exactly.
that's
Repeat,
it,
repeat, rinse and repeat.
Yes, the
Yeah. Yeah.
content, you're not starting from scratch. You already have content to work with. Now you got to like look at it and refine it,
Yes.
tweak it a little bit, see if it's
Yeah.
going to bring in more leads. And just that's what's beautiful about it, because you're not starting from scratch. You're keeping things simple, and you have a foundation that's going to keep your business sustainable and profitable. Because what a
Yeah.
lot of people end up doing is getting in a position where it's feast and famine phases. You want to
Yeah.
make sure that you're generating leads passively and actively. You want to make sure that you're generating sales passively and actively. And of course, since I have a low volume, high value business model, it's not like I need a lot of sales in a year. Um, it's just a totally different business model, which I love because I don't have to push myself
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
was
I'm
before.
with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Thank you so much for hanging
Mm.
out with us, Stacy, and just for
Yeah.
pouring all that wisdom. That's awesome. And I want people to understand, like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not a small feat. Like,
No.
having your own coaching business or having an online space business and stuff, it does come with all of these challenges,
Yeah.
building your email list and making sure you know why you're doing it and sustaining it and all of that. And so I love that you're helping them from like that foundational piece all the way through to the sales piece, right? I do
Mm-hmm.
something not similar at all because I'm not doing all of that. But what
Mm-hmm.
I do is I help people from concept of their
Mm-hmm.
coaching business to launch, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
build out their sales funnel and their automation and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that you are, because one of the things that even I have been thinking about is building my own summit. So I've
Mm-hmm.
been looking at I have my stuff right now on Go High Level. So I'm looking at
Mm.
how do I build my whole funnel system, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
for a
Mm-hmm.
summit, because
Yeah.
it's not easy, Stacy. You need a pro like you to help you do that because it's
Mm-hmm.
not easy.
Mm.
And so I
Mm-hmm.
love that you're doing that. I love that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't, right? Because you have to
No.
have all the automation pieces, you have to have all the reply pieces, you have to have all of
Find the
the
speakers.
different right, the speakers, and then all the tree going, if they don't answer, say this, if they answer, say,
Yep.
girl,
It's
listen
a lot.
here, okay? It's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's a lot. Like whenever my clients do their first summit, and I warn them, I'm like, this is going to feel hard because you're
Yeah.
doing this for the first time. But here's the thing, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And you've learned a skill set that's basically your ticket to freedom. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah.
no matter what
100%.
business you have, what you sell, you can always build an audience from scratch if you
Yes.
needed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, it can take 3 to 4 months to put it together if you dedicate like an hour a day, Monday through Friday for 3 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have to break it down into little
I
pieces
love
because
that you're keeping it real because that is
yeah.
just so true.
Hmm.
So true. And this is why I have a team, because I said, you know what, you
Yeah,
guys go ahead and do that video
right.
sales funnel
Yeah,
system because I'm
exactly.
not doing it. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
But even like now, like tapping into wanting to do summits myself and stuff,
Hmm.
and so I can rebuild my list, because like what happened to your past client, that
Hmm.
happened to me. My Facebook
Yes.
like went, and it took a lot of people with it. So
Yeah, it sucks.
I learned
Oh
my
my
lesson. I
goodness.
learned my
Yeah,
lesson.
I'm
But
glad you
I'm
did.
glad. Yes, I did, Stacy. But you may be somebody I might be talking to see how I build out that
Yeah,
summit. So
absolutely.
for those who are listening, because I know that this show is really listened to a lot of amazing people that are entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and on the
Mhm.
online space, because that's mostly what we talk about, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
how do they get in contact with you? Like if they want
Mhm.
to, like, wait a minute, Stacy's speaking my language. I need to
Mhm.
rebuild what I have here. So go ahead, give us all of that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Neena. So I would say go to unleashyourambition.com. I have a contact form on my website. I also have a podcast, Unleash Your Ambition podcast with Stacie Walker. And yeah, those are the places to find me. If you are
Awesome.
on social media, you can go to Instagram. It's Unleash Your Ambition LLC, and Facebook. If you look under Stacie Walker, you'll find my personal profile. That's where I usually hang out. Not on the
All right.
business page, but unleashyourambition.com is the easiest place to go, and from there there's resources on there, there's podcast episodes, and if you're looking for a way to see if we're a good fit to work together, you can schedule a time on my calendar for sure.
Okay, great. Great. Great.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. This was
Mhm.
really good. I mean, I love that. I love what you're doing. I really do. And I love the way you're helping these entrepreneurs kind of just build out their freedom. Like you said, you learn this skill, you have freedom, and
Mhm.
it's absolutely true. When
Yep.
I learned to do this, at least the funnel system for
Mhm.
my clients came in. They just came in. And then
Yep.
once I realized, okay, wait, there's a smart system to this. I actually have it all here, like built out for me.
Mhm.
Because it's like it's such a great tool to have in your tool
Mm.
belt. It really is.
It's
And even if you
empowering.
have exactly, and even if you
Mhm.
have people who do it like Stacy, guys, what I want you to understand is you can still learn this skill anyway,
Mhm.
just in case, right? Just in case Stacy decides she feels like burning this business down and wants to start something new, or just in case she's off on vacation for 3 months.
Yep.
If you learn to build out your systems and your funnel systems and all that, you really can do a lot of great
Mhm.
impact to your business. So, Stacy, thank
Absolutely.
you for hanging out with me
Yeah.
on Straight Talk. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
I
I
really do.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
too. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
It's been so fun. Guys, I kept her way longer than I told her I was going to keep her. So you guys better go ahead and follow her. I'm going to link all of her information below. I just love these kind of conversations because they're conversations that make you think and also help you to feel unstuck, because you start to realize, oh, okay, wait, there is a system out there. Wait, hold on. I can get help. I don't have to do this alone. And you guys
Mhm.
know that I'm always about that. Don't do this journey alone. Collaborate with people, get in contact with people, start networking. Don't think you have to do this stuff alone. It's not about
Mm-mm.
competition, it's about collaboration.
Mhm.
Competition, or that feeling that you got to do it alone, is a scarcity mindset. You think that everything's going to be taken away from you, and at the end of
Mm-mm.
the day, if you expand, you're going to see that you're going to really roll and move forward to
Mhm.
what it is you want to
Mhm.
do. So,
Mhm.
guys, thank you guys for hanging out with me and Stacy today. This is Neena Perez. Straight talk, no sugar added. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.